we have a very iconic member of the Duke-UNC matchup joining us right now.
Who do we got?
So if you don't know the story, which I know you do, but maybe some people out there don't. 2003, UNC-Duke at Cameron Indoor, and Patrick King is in the student section as UNC's Jackie Manuel is at the free throw line. Keep an eye on him. He just transformed into Speedo Guy. Manuel would miss both free throws. Oh my gosh, Coach K said it was inappropriate, so it never happened again. We're very excited to now be joined by the Speedo Guy himself, Patrick King. It's been 20 years, not to make you feel old, but it's been a minute. So excited to have you
Yeah, I've got plenty of things.
A little upset
Thank you very
that you're
much.
not in a Speedo. I mean, actually, I can't see, so maybe you are. But I want to ask you, how did this whole thing come about?
Great question. So y'all know that, first of all, thank you. This is a lot of fun. And I guess this is one of those decisions you make in college that just is going to perpetually haunt me for the rest of my life. So no, it was a lot of fun. Y'all know, I mean, it's an incredibly competitive thing to get into a Duke basketball game, even as a student. And so I was fortunate enough, I was a grad student technically, and which meant that I was able to get access to a season pass. But even with a season pass, you know, it's just open seating. You don't have assigned seating. And so for a day like a game like the UNC game, you still have to wait in line for a very long time to get a decent seat. And so my buddies and I showed up about 7:30 that morning for a 9 o'clock game. And to be honest with you, I was dozing off in a camping chair at about 7:30 when my buddy, it was Dan Rhodes and my cousin Jack came up, who I was in school with. They came up to me, woke me up and said, Dan Rhodes has an idea for you. And before you know what it is, I just need you to say yes. So I don't know. You know, I guess being in grad school, you just sort of sign up for things like that. So that's what I did. And so then literally it was day of that we coordinated with other friends of ours that weren't there. And a friend of ours named Lisa found a Speedo and she delivered it to us. And I was literally getting, I guess, technically undressed and then dressed there out on the lawn, out in front of camera.
Oh my goodness.
So I guess we should never say yes to anything before we know what we're going to be saying yes to. We know that Coach K said a very quick no to the idea, Pat. How did that kind of go down? Was there a conversation with you and Coach K that was like, nah, I don't think we should be doing this at our games? Like, how did that all go down?
You know, so I actually heard about this because no, there was no conversation with Coach K, and I'm certainly far from that important that Coach K would have a conversation with me. But no, apparently, so the way we get tickets as grad students is we have one weekend prior to the basketball season that we would camp out for, I guess it was like 36 hours, something like that. And Coach K apparently, you know, made an appearance, brought pizza for everybody. You know, he's a super good guy. And but in his remarks about, you know, anticipating the season and looking forward to it, and fans are important, et cetera, you know, kind of getting all the students hyped for the upcoming season. That's when he made these comments that he was like, and by the way, no more Speedos.
Oh my goodness,
We don't
that's
need more.
amazing.
Yeah.
Also amazing moves. I'm really curious how you figured out that you should do those dance moves, but I want to ask you, is Speedo Guy still a part of your identity? If I were you, I would have like a picture of like one of those moves frozen in my, like hanging in a picture frame in my home. Is that still a part of your identity at all?
Well, it's, I don't know that it's a part of my identity, except that it just comes up. I do find it remarkable that it still comes up in conversation about once every couple of weeks, which is amazing to me. You know, I'm in Knoxville, Tennessee, but people still, you know, bring it up because they hear about it, you know, through different people and that kind of thing. But no, I will say that the Speedo does live in the house, and we'll see if you know, I don't know if the next generation is going to pick it up or not. But
oh my gosh, you mean your kids? Do your kids know about this?
It's still around.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
It might be a good opportunity for you to meet my son. He was actually in that original video that we did. And he was only about 6 weeks at the time. I don't know if you remember me holding him in the very original video that y'all did.
Oh my gosh, that is amazing. That is absolutely amazing.
Yeah. I can introduce him real quick if he wants to poke his head in here. Yeah.
It carries on.
Is that the Speedo?
Oh my
That is
God.
the actual Speedo.
Oh my gosh, yes. It's you pass it down
Yes.
to generation
Legacy.
from generation to generation. I love that. That's amazing.
That is
Some
unbelievable
people,
stuff.
some people have very important family heirlooms, things like that. We have Speedos in the King household. Yeah.
That is awesome. That is so cool.
Let me ask you this, Pat. I know if my family was watching that and friends were watching me go nuts wearing a Speedo at a college basketball game, they would call me or call a doctor really, really quickly to make sure I was okay. What was the reaction from your friends or family after they saw you doing that?
Great. Yeah, that's a great question. Except, you got to take into account that you're on Duke's campus. And so, they don't call a doctor. You're immediately a celebrity. So I'll never forget that, the very next day, I got, we've got a little bus line or whatever. And I got on there, and one of my fellow divinity students was on there. And the minute I stepped on the bus, I mean, her eyes just lit up big, and she was like, Speedo Guy. I mean, the name had already stuck. I mean, not that it's that creative, but the name had already stuck. Everybody and the whole bus, once they figured out it was me and that I was the guy that had done it, I mean, they lost their minds. So yeah, it was great.
Goodness.
That's unbelievable.
Patrick, thank you so much for joining us. Game Day will have a lot more on this. Enjoy. I don't know. Your son in a Speedo. I don't know. Have fun.
Go Duke. Thanks, guys.
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming, sports, and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.